This video is sponsored by my favorite website creator, Squarespace, the best place to go when you want to get a domain or create a gorgeous website or an online store. So yes, you know that feeling that some type of clothes just look kind of wrong on you and like completely unflatters your body? I think it's down to three things: cut, clinginess, and volume, and how those three things like highlight different parts of your body. But like, I just have to say, one thing that makes me a bit sad is that almost always when we talk about body types, we talk about how to balance out and change our shape into something it's not. Like, you know, the pear, apple, hourglass shapes and all of them. Mostly we just talk about how to use clothes to hide our quirks until we all look like the normal mannequin version of ourselves. Personally, I don't think that way at all. I don't want to take my pear-shaped, long-legged, wide-shouldered body type and change it because I don't really want to look like a mannequin. I want the things that I personally like about my body to stand out. You know, I always used to blame my body every time I put something on and it didn't look quite right. But now I know there's nothing wrong with my body. It's just that some pieces of clothing look wrong to me because they don't highlight one of my favorite parts. It instead sort of draws attention to a, less favorite part of my body. And this like mind shift has had the biggest impact on like how I look at myself and my body. So I thought I could use myself as an example and show you how different clothes changes the actual shape of my body. And hopefully, if you're feeling a bit harsh on your body today, maybe this will make you feel better. So, I've made some body types videos before and like how to measure yourself to find out just what the hell you are, because it might be helpful to figure out why some things look a bit weird or wrong to us. I'll put some links in the description for you, or David will more likely, so remind him if he forgets. All right, so as an example, my body looks like this, and this would be called like a long-legged pear shape. And I can dress in like differently shaped clothes to either accentuate or minimize each of these things. So should we have a look at some examples and see what they do to my silhouette? When thinking of how to like put together an outfit, I find it really quite simple to create a silhouette I'm after if I just remember those three things that I mentioned in the beginning: cut, clinginess, and volume. So like where the item is cut and where it clings to your body and where it has like an exaggerated volume, that's the part it's going to highlight. So if we look at cut first, for example, a miniskirt that cuts at your thighs will highlight your legs, and a crop jacket that cuts at your hips instead will draw attention to the hips. And a t-shirt will highlight your arms, while a vest will draw attention to the shoulders. You get the idea, I'm sure. And secondly, clinginess. So wherever the clothes cling to your body, that part will be highlighted. So tight trousers will show off your hips and bum, and a tight top, your stomach and breasts, and skinny jeans will show off your legs. And finally, like obviously, if something has like a massive volume, like a puffed shoulder or a huge maxi skirt or really severe shoulder pads, it will draw attention. That goes without saying. But like another thing to remember with volume is that whatever doesn't have volume will look much smaller by comparison. So for example, wide shoulders on a jacket will make my hips look smaller, or like an A-line miniskirt will make our thighs look much smaller. Or a big chunky pair of boots will make our ankles and lower legs tiny. So for me, playing around with volume is probably the funnest way to put together an outfit, because I can like show those extreme exaggerated shapes. And one thing to remember with all of this is like, we don't have to opt for the same silhouette with every outfit. Like some days I want to look completely straight, androgynous, and some days I want to look like all curvy, glamorous. So it's all like a mood thing. We don't have to like choose one or the other. One thing you do have to choose is whether to pre-order my book, Okaydays, or not. So Okaydays is a romantic, London-based book about two people who are just in love, and it's all very sexy and kind of spiky. So take a look, links in the description. All right, let's be practical. If you put on a completely oversized outfit, you will highlight nothing. You will just look straight. But on the other hand, if you go for top to toe skin tight, you will highlight absolutely everything, especially whatever it is about your body that stands out. So for me, in all skin tight, I will highlight my wide shoulders, my small breasts and stomach, my wide hips, and my long legs. Unless I've just eaten something good, of course, because in that case, I will just highlight my food belly. I think this is why very few people feel 100% comfortable in either head to toe oversized or completely skin tight, because it means that we haven't modified or highlighted our favorite bits. Personally, I'm always happy in oversized, but completely skin tight, I better be having a good fucking day to be going for that look. So instead for me, going all skin tight, except maybe putting on an A-line skirt will be perfect because it highlights my shoulders and breasts, but draws away attention from my wide hips, which I otherwise feel can become a little bit like my most prominent feature. So the things we don't want to highlight, I find that the best bet is to neither exaggerate with volume nor cling to with something skin tight, but instead like skim over with something a little bit loose, but not extremely loose. Maybe this all will become clearer if we take like two completely opposite looks and see what happens to my body shape. On the one hand, we have the oversized top, naked legs look, which is maybe the most like Insta-friendly silhouette right now, like preppy schoolgirl, that kind of thing. So since we put all the volume around the shoulders down to the thighs, it means that our legs by comparison will look tiny, especially when wearing this with like chunky boots. If I instead would wear this with ballerinas, my legs will look slightly thicker. And since we have nothing cutting off our legs, like a trouser hem or something, they will also look long, like spider legs. Because the fabric is coming straight down from our shoulders, we don't really know what's going on with the breast and stomach and hips, so those parts will get less attention. On the other hand, we have the flipped version. So skin tight top, oversized legs. Since the hem cuts by my ankles, my legs will look slightly shorter, my hips and legs and bum will look curvier, and the focus is all on my breast, stomach and arms. Since my upper body is slim, this is what you will notice, especially that my boobs are on the tinier side and that my arms will look long and very like noodly lanky. If you're curvier and have bigger boobs, they will be the star in this outfit. And if you have a narrow waist or a wide waist, this will also be exaggerated. All right, when it comes to cut, let's look at outerwear, for example. A long blazer will draw attention to legs. A bomber jacket will draw attention to your hips and a crop jacket to your waist. So for longer coats, like a button-up trench coat, it will highlight nothing and be like all straight and boyish and mysterious. But if you cinch the waist with a belt, voila, curvaceous femme fatale. So cut, clinginess and volume, I feel like it's all about experimenting until we find things that we feel good in. And like whenever we put on an outfit we don't feel good in, to try to figure out why. Is it because it clings someplace or adds volume some other place, or because it cuts at a spot we're not comfortable with? So please tell me guys, when do you feel most comfortable? In all oversized, in oversized bottom, oversized top, or all skin tight? Or maybe you go for the cinched waist or the exaggerated shoulders? I want to know because, you know, I'm curious. But also, like, I've just focused on cut and silhouette here today, but of course, like, colors and patterns and details makes a big difference too. Not as much as silhouette, but still, if you want me to make another video on that, I'm happy to, because I feel like whenever I myself figure out a way to be just like happy with the way I look, I just want to share with the group instantly. But actually, like normally when I post photos of an outfit on Instagram where I'm like disproportionate, I get tons of comments telling me to make my shoulders smaller, my breasts bigger, and my legs shorter and all of that to balance myself out and become proportionate. But I'm wondering, like, seriously, why is proportionate the holy grail here? I don't get it. Doesn't like unique and quirky and special sound like better adjectives to strive for than proportionate? Should we just all agree to change our goal here? Personally, I think long-legged, wide-shouldered, tiny-breasted sounds quite cool. But also like, that's me, that's what I actually look like. I'm gonna own it and like be happy with what I got. And so should you, like, highlight the hell out of those quirks because they are what makes you you. And I hope that this gives you a little bit of a confidence boost. Give me a like if it did, and if you want me to make more body type or body image videos. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, so that I will see you next week already. Do you want to create a beautiful site, maybe start your own blog? If so, you should definitely do it with Squarespace. They have great blogging tools to share your stories, photos and videos to make it easy to reach your audience. You can also auto-post your content to Twitter, Facebook or Tumblr, and simply schedule your posts for them to be properly tagged, and the descriptions and titles will show up correctly. You can of course add your social media accounts to your site so that it's easy for your readers to find you everywhere. Squarespace also have great traffic analytics so that you can see how many people are visiting your site, how long they're staying for, where they're coming from and what they're interested in, like fashion or sustainability or maybe books, for example. So what are you waiting for? Go get your free trial today at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/jennymustard to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And for now, take care of yourself and that gorgeous body of yours. You only got the one. Peace, see you soon.